Hello, everybody. Welcome to the YINZER Brothers podcast. I'm TJ here with my most excellent brother, Tim, and we are the YINZER Bros. We are here. We are excited. Tim is donning the Franco's Italian Army hard hat because we have, once again, they're hard fought and they're hard to find, but we have a victory from last Monday night. The Steelers did beat the crummy Indianapolis Colts. But I got to tell you this, Tim. I was a little nervous, especially heading into that fourth quarter. How did you react to the game and everything that happened on Monday night? At any point, were you nervous at all?
Sure. I mean, this whole year's been doom and gloom, so I wasn't expecting anything good to happen anyways.
That's true. I mean, this fits into your normal viewpoint on the football gods and life. How does it feel to realize all of your fears?
This is a bit of a tough year. This sucks. This sucks because I know it's happening, dude. They're gonna, and it's not a coincidence. I mean, I don't know. We've only had podcasts when we win, which is crappy. But
well, you know, but aren't we the typical Steeler fan? When we lose, do we want to talk about
it? I think it's more entertaining for everybody around us that's actually listening.
Well, maybe we could try to bump that up. But let's pray. How about this? What if we go on a winning streak? Because you know what's going to happen, Tim.
I made the call before when November started that we weren't going to lose in November. We lost to the Bengals. I have a feeling that we're going to go on some stupid run. And I think I said this way earlier in one of our first podcasts or whatnot for this year that somehow, some way, we're going to be looking at week 16 and 17, hoping some guy like Papali that's playing for the that's playing for the Bills that have nothing to play for, and we're going to be cheering Papali on to win so we can actually make the playoffs to get demolished by the Kansas City Chiefs in the first round. That's what I have a feeling is going to happen, and I still think it's going to happen somehow, some way.
I mean, when I look at the rest of the schedule, we have the Falcons, and they're definitely beatable. Then you have the Ravens. I don't know which Ravens team shows up. They're definitely beatable. The Panthers are beatable. The Raiders stink. The Ravens again. And the Browns. I mean, and when I look at the rest of that schedule, I mean, it is possible, highly unlikely, but it's possible they could run the table.
I don't want them to run the table, TJ.
I know you don't, but I'm just telling you it's possible.
What are you gonna do? You know what? You know what's gonna happen? Just like it happened last year, where I talked myself into by Wednesday or Thursday, hey, we got a shot against the Kansas City Chiefs. Come on, dude.
We have a shot against the Chiefs. They're just crazy.
I mean, come on. You know, that's what you're going to be staring at. Next thing you know, you're going to be going, oh, we got beat 47-3 in the wild card game.
We're not ready.
And we have the 22nd pick in the draft. I was like,
we're not ready to compete there. But I do like. Let's talk a little bit about Monday night. I mean, Monday night we saw some good stuff. The rushing attack, they gained 173 yards on the ground, which is great. Really, most of the time without Najee Harris.
Benny Snell still seems like he runs in water, even though he had 70 yards. I'm going. Do these guys play in the NFL? They can't catch this guy.
I know, it's crazy, but I'll tell you, Warren will be back, which I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. I mean, it's going to be basically his show on Sunday. He's back. He's fired up. And I don't know if you heard this.
I don't think it's going to be his show, dude. I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see a lot of Benny Snell football on first and second down.
He's got his knees bugging him, so he was on the injury report. So he's only been a partial practice person.
From what?
I don't. I'm just telling you what's on the report. That's all I'm telling you. So I think you're going to see a healthy dose of Warren and maybe some McFarland, and depending on what Snell can give you, I mean, who knows? But this is nuts to me. Did you see the stat about Kenny Pickett this week? He was the highest. He was the highest rated quarterback for the Pro Football Focus.
He looked good, man. He did look good.
I get that, but how do you get? He was 20 for 27, $170, $180 yards. How was he their top quarterback for the week with no TDs in the air? How do they grade? What do they use to grade?
TJ, I have no idea how they do that stuff. I don't.
So
I don't
that
know.
means
they could tell me they could tell me Mitchell Trubisky's the best rated quarterback in the league. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You're right, dude. I don't know how they do that. Because to
Well, I
me,
mean,
if I'm looking at this, it should be Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes every week.
that's what I'm saying. So how on earth? Now I got to say this: he's looking better. He's making better decisions. And he did throw. I mean, there were a bunch of balls that they dropped. I don't understand. As for as great as George Pickens is, sometimes the way he has his hands to grab a ball, I don't understand that. There was one
I'm
play.
not. I'm
It was
sorry.
the weirdest thing.
I'm not giving anything. George Pickens is fine. He's fine.
Dude, he
He's
dropped
fine.
two balls. He dropped two
TJ,
balls that were
he's
catchable in
fine.
his hands.
He's fine because he keeps his mouth shut and he continues to do what he do. Deontay Johnson, they should have paid him to begin with. The
Yeah,
dude complains he doesn't get balls from his way, and when he has crucial balls, crucial times in games, he drops them.
I get it. I get it.
I'm that dude. Whatever, man. Whatever. But I thought Pickens is.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
I
still
get it.
growing too. He's learning. He's growing.
He's fine, man.
So,
I get what you're saying. He makes the easy ones look hard and the hard ones look easy.
he does. So, but I mean, they put up 24 points. You thought they'd put up more, but hey, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. And the defense, except for a little kind of few bumps here and there, looked pretty solid to me. Um, well, I'll tell you what, they got that thing going. When they get all their safeties involved, that back end is pretty tough. And again, even just getting the threat of TJ Watt back, makes that front defensive line just better.
He
They're
was,
going to need it too.
I get it, but he was.
Well, he's
He
got
was
an
a.
injury too. He's got a rib injury. I guess that was
I don't know.
messing with him.
He was non-existent that game, which was kind of weird.
So he was on the. I mean, he was on the limited practice report, but he was still
Mhm.
there. But hey, we got to win. It was prime time. What I was impressed with Kenny Pickett, he went down and he scored when he had to.
He did, but Matt Ryan looks like a skeleton that just has skin on top of him.
He
He
does.
stinks. He
Did you see that
sucks.
when he ran? When he ran that, how on earth did he get like 12 yards or whatever he got? He looked like me and you running around out there. It was awful.
And when I say that I could have four plays, looking at him, I mean, come on, man. He looked
He's
like
bad.
him and the doofus coach that they had.
Dude, that time management toward the end, that clock management. I mean, Tomlin's bad. This guy made Tomlin look like Belichick. I mean, he made Tomlin. It was
I was
ridiculous.
like, I couldn't believe it. I'm going, okay, yeah, man. I still
But Tim,
think
he does have great hair, though, doesn't he?
he does. That's what happens when you get on all those
The
anabolic
steroids.
steroids before after you retire.
He's got great hair. I tell you, he's got great hair. So we had a
Yeah.
great win. We push it behind us. What does Tomlin say? We're just stacking wins. Like just stacking wins. See what happens. We're on a
I
little bit
heard
of a run.
I heard I heard a new classic Tomlin thing from his press conference where he called, I guess, slot corners angry little men. I'm gonna start using that everywhere I go. Like,
Angry little man.
why are you an angry little man? Just settle down, you angry little man.
He is. Tomlin is just he's funny. So I don't know. If anything, hopefully in this year we're seeing the development of Kenny Pickett to see who we have. I'll tell you what, his accuracy was he missed a couple throws, but his accuracy was off the charts on Monday
His
night.
accuracy's always been pretty good. I'm just like worried about you could still see guys running around the field that he's missing.
Yeah.
And it gets TJ, I get so nervous that say this offense starts putting up points against these crappy teams that I got to stare at Doofus face again next year as our offensive coordinator.
I know. I know.
And that's what scares me about the development of Kenny Pickett is Doofus face.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I mean, the Steeler way, they usually don't let guys go midstream. And what Kansas got one more year on his contract, doesn't he?
Yeah, man.
So you might see him again next year. But again,
And he gave Coach T's son a basically scholarship at Maryland. So just keep that in the back of your cranium too.
well, it is the NFL. It's crazy. So we'll talk about the Falcons here in a second. Before we do that, let's jump into the injured mailbag. Tim, I don't even know if there's anything in the injured mailbag this week because we were off for a week. Is anything with Thanksgiving? Did anything get in there?
I don't know. There was stuff in there from months ago, but I don't know if it's
Anything that's
relevant
relevant? Anything that's relevant? Take a peek in there. See if
anymore.
there's anything that's relevant.
I don't know. Let me see. We got um
Nothing?
I got a new one from Mr. Campbell that just basically said D is completely different with Watt on the field.
That's true. That's a good statement.
Who steps up to assist to assist on that side of the ball, and
But he goes.
also I guess who would be his Batman to step up on defense? It's Watts back, which I mean you could tell that
Have to
56
do
has
that.
been Highsmith
Yeah,
has been good.
he has. But you know what? He's great when you always need a Robin to your Batman. When he's off the field, Highsmith, he had an opportunity for all those weeks he was gone to show that he doesn't need TJ, but he needs TJ. He can't
Yeah,
get through the double teams. He is double teamed and triple teamed every freaking play.
TJ Watt.
So yeah, so he just commands so
He
much attention.
he wasn't last game, man. He did a lot of one-on-ones, and he just was not winning, which was weird to me.
He was. I
But
mean, he was hurt. His ribs. Have you ever been hit the ribs, Tim?
I have, TJ. I played quarterback. Yes, I've been hitting the ribs. Believe it or
So,
not, at some point in time, I was an athletic freak. And you may not think it, but I was.
the athletic freak. That's a strong word combination.
I was Tim Tebow before Tim
For-
Tebow's time.
right. So I don't know. I would love to see them. I mean, let's be real. Some of these young guys, we've not heard a lot from them from an outside linebacker position. It does seem the defensive line is starting to rotate pretty solid.
Yeah, and
Okeechobee,
I
he
think
was
they're
a
getting
solid pick.
I think they're going to get that. What's the rookie guy they had, a Neal or whatever, back this week?
Yep. Yep.
Which he was looking good before he got hurt. So I don't. I mean, yeah, their defensive line. TJ, it's these teams are playing against her. You can't tell anything. They stink.
Yeah.
Dude, Indianapolis stinks. They suck. How did they win 4 games? They
Don't
suck.
know.
How did they take Philly to the wire? That team
Don't know.
stinks.
Don't know.
That
It's
team
weird.
stunk. That
By the
team
way,
stunk.
who else is on the injury list? Miles Jack didn't practice yesterday.
TJ, I'm sorry. The one thing this team needs desperately more than anything, I've got to a point in my fantasy games, I'm starting whatever tight end. I don't care what team it is that's playing against the Steelers because they can't cover a tight end. They
I
can't.
agree.
They can't do it. I thought having 41 not out there, I was like, this is great. He's inactive. Don't got to see him, trailing guys left and right. God, the other two are worse than him.
I know. Who was that
Bob
kid that
Bob
he got
Spillane stinks.
that tight end for Indianapolis looked like Travis Kelce this week.
I'm going. That dude looked. He looked like he was running he was like a transformer. And he was just all slow, and he was still catching balls. I'm going,
He
how is
was.
this dude
It was
beating
crazy.
guys?
It was nuts. Do you see anything else in the injury mailbag at all?
Ryan asked about what does Najee need to do to take the next step to reach his potential?
I tell you what, I think he got some of the criticism about going north and south, and since after that, I think he's a different running back. I think he's running with more put his foot in the ground and go. Again,
Yeah.
for him, I think it's can he stay healthy. The NFL game is just different. It's not college anymore. I like the fact he's not dancing like he used to. And I got to say this: the line looked decent.
I still don't think that's an ab, dude. Do you think he hurt his ab?
It looked to me like he hurt his foot or his knee, but I don't know.
It looked to me like that Liz Franck foot thingy's back. That's what it looked like to me.
Wouldn't it be great this year to see, or this week to see Warren run for like $120?
No, because I have Najee in all my fantasy leagues and we're going playoff time.
Tim, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know. I don't be good. Anything else in the injury mailbag?
No. I mean, I could say a million things about the conversations that I've had the past. TJ, when the Pittsburgh Steelers traded Claypool to the Bears,
how's that trade looking, by the way, for the good old Steeler fans?
I had these dum-dums out here in Chicago. TJ, they convinced themselves that guy was going to be Megatron. I kept saying, you guys are a bunch of dum-dums. And you should have heard the sports radio out here. They thought the first week that they had him, he was going to go for 150 yards. And I'm going, he plays like a 5'8" midget going up for a ball.
He does. He's pretty bad.
And it's hilarious. They're still like going, well, he hasn't gone on the field that much. That's his. I'm going, no, you don't understand. He's going to give you one game and you're going to go, yeah, he's the guy. and then he's going to suck for 10 of them. I was like, you don't understand. I was like, I kind of compared. I was like, it's like being on the golf course where you suck for 17 holes and you hit that one good shot in the last one. You're
That's
like,
right.
I want to do,
That's
I
right.
want to do this over again.
That's right.
No,
No.
that Bears pick. I hope it turns out to be, because I think Miami lost their first round pick because they did some shady stuff. I hope it is the actual first pick of the draft, so we actually get it would be the 32nd pick in the second round, so it would actually be another first rounder. So I can sit here and everybody can go, what are you going to do with that draft pick? You know, you guys. I'm going, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? When is the last time the Steelers haven't hit on a second round draft choice? Just take a look at the.
You're right.
And I just all I said to those guys, I was like, do you find it weird? The Steelers that are wide receiver U of the NFL gave a guy up that's 25 years old on his rookie deal that's 6'3", 230 for a second round pick. A better pick than they got. I was like, it's like, if that's me, like little red dots are going off going, wait a second. Like, you know, like you see like the gif of the guy with like the question marks above his head going like this. That's what I'm kind of like, what do they know something that I don't know?
That's funny. You're right. I got to tell you this. I am surprised that Mason Rudolph is still on the team. Why haven't they moved him?
You can't move him now. I would have moved him for a sack of golf balls know
they had opportunities to move him for something. I mean, I don't understand why would they have not moved him? Or even, it sounds funny, or even moving Trubisky.
Oh, Mitch is going to be gone next year. There's no way they keep him next year. But I don't know. I don't know why they didn't move. Maybe they weren't getting anything for him. They said, hey, if you're not going to get anything, we're just going to keep you. But this Claypool thing, every week out here now it's a different thing. It's almost like when they made excuses up for Cutler all these years, and they finally come to the realization, like, well, Cutler sucked.
Yeah, he wasn't very good.
They're kind of like, okay, don't worry, he'll be. I'm going, okay. I sit here and I watch and I go, I had guys blowing me up after the Jet game. After he had the first quarter, he had 2 catches for 50 yards. I took a nap, woke up and opened my phone when the game was over. He still had 2 catches for 50 yards. Like, this guy sucks.
That's true. And then, isn't it interesting too? If you look at the league now, you're starting to see the implosion of Aaron Rodgers, and the implosion of the GOAT. Tom Brady's on the struggle bus.
I think Rodgers is hurt, man. I mean, Brady, I want until somebody puts an absolute bullet in his chest and rips out his heart.
He's like Jason. He's like Jason from Friday the 13th. You always think he's dead, but he's not. He always comes back.
Because what's going to happen is that division over there, that South, sucks so bad. Somehow Tampa's going to win that division, and all of a sudden you're going to be like, "Holy crap! Here comes it's going to be the NFC title game." Here we go. Wow, How is Brady the Super Bowl again? That's what's going to happen. I'm just telling you, they're going to get healthy. That defense get healthy. You're going to be like, What did we just miss everything all year? And Brady's going to be sitting there pumping his TB12, and I'm not going anywhere.
He's crazy. Aaron Rodgers has never been right since he did that whole thing with whatever those mushroom things were he did. He's never been right.
I don't know, man.
They're talking about benching him, Tim. Who's his backup? Love?
Jordan, yeah, but my guess is like, if he's hurt, do you play him the rest of the year? You're out of the playoffs, so I mean, does it matter?
I think you bench him, and
if your division was semi-close, I'd get it, but they're done.
They gave him everything. What's left?
TJ, trust me, I'd much rather be in the Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady camp than the let's ride camp out in Denver.
They stink. Well, they should arrest Russell Wilson. He stole money.
TJ, it's like he was like the hamburger he had a mask over. And he's like, give me $250 million.
Dude, he's bad.
But here's the difference between them and Green Bay. At least Green Bay I think they'll be fine next year. They'll get a high pick. Denver doesn't have any picks for like, I don't know how many years.
I know.
And Russell Wilson is like, that dude's a fraud. I've said he was a fraud. He's a fraud. He's
bad. I didn't realize he was this bad, though. He's bad.
On that team, they don't have any picks.
No.
I think that pick it goes to the Seahawks are going to get like the third pick of the draft.
It's bad.
And then the Eagles are, I think, going to get like Eagles are going to get like a top 5 pick because for Wentz.
I
Where
know.
am I missing something?
These guys, they're just bad GMs. Just bad GMs. The
I
Eagles, they
mean,
look like they could be a wagon. They're starting to put some things together.
yeah. You think they could be a wagon? Yeah, they're good. The team that I can know, the Dallas is very good.
You know what though? They always have a way of finding a way to clap. Somebody breaks a tibia or something, or just they have an epic. The thing I love about Dallas, they get you so close, and then they just break your heart.
That's what's going to happen. They're going to end up being the ones that play TB12 and get beat. Next thing you know, holy crap, he's in an NFC title game, and you're praying whoever's coming out of the NFC, it's probably gonna be some wackadoo team like the Seahawks somehow sneaking through to the NFC title game. You're going, Brady's gonna be in the Super Bowl again. Here we go, and you're going to put up
Yeah,
with that for 2 weeks. And
I'll tell you, there was a sleeper team too out in the NFC is the Vikings. Boy, they're slowly getting their stuff done.
TJ, watch a Viking game. They have the worst point differential in the entire league. So they're winning by the narrowest of margins,
Yeah.
negative or something like that. TJ, they're not good. They're not. TJ, I hate to break it. They're not good. They're just not. Just
Well,
watch.
when
Just
you look at
watch.
the NFC, you get past when you get past Philadelphia and Dallas. I mean, who's left?
The Niners are very good, TJ.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. I mean, LA's terrible,
They
you know, but
the Niners have one of those teams that could come playoff time. If Jimmy G's always the X factor, I think he stinks because he's always going to be like that. They have every piece you can think of, but somehow Jimmy G is going to screw them over. Come either NFC title game or sometime in the playoffs. You're going to go. That's why we traded all of our picks for Trey Lance because Jimmy G can only get us as far as it's like what do they call that when you continue to do the same thing over and over again and beat your head against the wall?
insanity.
Basic, basically, that's the same type of model. Like the Niners fans are eventually be like, we love Jimmy G now, we love Jimmy, and then they're going to see like NFC type like it happened again. He missed important throws. That's why that's what it is. So to
We'll
me,
see.
it's like I still think Brady's going to be lurking there like the predator, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're like, what the hell just happened?
I
Why are we
hope not.
watching this dude?
I hope not. I heard. I mean, rumor is this that he could leave Tampa and finish up with the Patriots again next year. I've heard that too.
He ain't doing that. He ain't doing that.
What's he got to live for now? He's got, and you realize this. He's going to, if he leaves Tampa, he's going to get another big contract, and he's going to get alimony
But
because his
TJ,
wife makes more than he does,
but
or his ex-wife.
he's to a point now like he's so skinny and gaunt, like his blood's got to be really thin from the warm air. He doesn't want to go back up to New England and deal with the cold.
Right. Well, he's like vampires. They have to feed on human flesh and blood, so they could say. So he obviously he's down. He's down a quart or two from whatever he sucks his life from.
No, he's not whatever, man.
So that's it for the Injured Mailbag. Again, if you got any questions, anything you'd like to put in, you can email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com and we'll get you on the program. Let's talk real quick, Tim, about the matchup for this week. We have the Falcons. The Falcons, I wouldn't call them great. But they're in the middle of the pack. They got a
They
they got
stink, TJ.
I'm
They
just telling you.
suck.
I'm just telling you where they're at. They have a
They
decent running
suck.
game.
They suck.
Mariota is what he is, So again, I think they're fourth in the league in rushing. I think fourth or fifth in the league. So we gotta keep an eye on that. Is there anything about the Falcons that scares you?
Nope.
So we know the Falcons aren't very good, but Tim, let's just be real. We're not very good either. Have you looked at where we rank in the NFL in anything?
I don't care.
Spoken like a true Yinzer.
Well, no, it's. I mean, when I look at this matchup, it's like, okay, I get what you're saying, but you can't. It's tough to look at the defense because Watt was gone for half the
I
year.
agree. I agree.
I think I can look at a snapshot for the past 3 weeks, if you want me to, and
Yeah.
their run defense has been good.
Yeah.
Atlanta, all they can do is run because Mariota can't throw the ball, and if they make him look like some freaking superstar throwing the ball this week, I'm gonna break everything. The Steelers can stop the run. Atlanta's defense stinks.
Yeah.
The only thing that gets me nervous about this game is special teams. That's it. Because
I'm ready to get off the Percy Harvin bus.
I'm ready to get off the Danny Smith bus because TJ, look at his average of his special teams since he's been the coach. I don't think they've been higher than 18th in the league since he's been there. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't know. That game in Indianapolis wouldn't even have been close
That's true.
if for that second half kickoff.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Indy that whole game was averaging the ball at the 40-yard line. That tells you how
Yeah.
bad Indy sucks.
Yeah.
And
They are bad.
and they got Cordell Patterson for the Falcons, so that gets me nervous for the return game.
Yeah.
Everything else, no, the Atlanta Falcons.
When does Boswell get back?
I think after this week. I think his
Okay.
his IR stint is coming back.
Well, he's been like
Yeah,
hurt
dude.
for.
Yeah, man. Every time that right dude kicks a ball, my breath is just going.
What's his range? I mean, anything out of like what, 37 yards? Is he
I don't know.
there?
He reminds me like when I was playing like paper football back in like the day in like high school. Like that's what I don't know what's gonna happen when that thing flicks off my finger, and I don't think it's going very far. So it's like that's what I think of every time Wright's I'm going. I leave
He's
the room.
not very big.
I leave the room because I expect the worst. I go, did he make the field goal? When he comes back, I go, okay, he made it. I go, no.
And he's skinny and small too. I mean, he is tiny. Even for a kicker, he's small.
He looks like an angry little man.
He
An
does.
angry little man.
That's what he does. So, what do you think about our? Let's talk about their offense. I mean, obviously, if they run the ball, we're in trouble if we can't stop it. But we've been pretty good against the run. Again, I don't know who's going to be playing linebacker for us if Jack isn't available. And I don't know, is 41 back? Is he practicing?
I'm sure he is.
Your guy?
I'm sure he is. He's from Fenwick, Illinois, so that means he's probably dumb. So it's like it's one of those things where it's just like see ball, play ball, don't matter, hurt ball. So my guess is I'm gonna have to watch that dude run around the field like Frankenstein for 3 hours, and I'm ready to blow my braids out.
So I do think we can handle their offense. Now there is another stat here too I think they've lost the last 5 out of 6 games. The Falcons.
Dude,
I know it's definitely the last 3 out of 4.
Because they're not very good, TJ. They're not good.
Who did they play this last week? I'm trying to remember. It was hang on.
Was it Carolina?
I don't remember. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Carolina. It was yeah, I don't remember. Well, you remember they didn't lose to Carolina, did they?
TJ, they're not very good.
They lost to the Commanders.
They're on a little run, though. I will say
They
that.
are.
I think they're going to make the playoffs.
And here's the thing: they only lost 13-19. I mean, they have they have. I think if I remember correctly, if I read all the stuff right,
let me get this correct. Let me straighten that out. They lost 13. The Commanders aren't a wagon or nothing like that. You know what I mean? They're like,
yeah, but they took out the Eagles. They gave the Eagles their only loss.
I mean, TJ, we beat the Bungles week 1 too. The sun shines on a dog's rear end a couple times a year.
So I mean, the Commanders they're about 500. I think they're 7-5. So I mean, they're not slouches. That whole division has been a little bit of a surprise, hasn't it?
The NFC East.
Yeah.
I just don't know who all they're playing. Outside the NFC East,
they're playing each other, and then they're playing like guys like I don't know the Steelers, guys like us. Eagles pretty much kicked our heads in. But
yeah,
that's just either here or there.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to look and see who those guys are. I think Dallas is actually playing some half decent teams, but I'm not even sure. Like I don't know who they're playing that are very good.
Dallas at some point will be the double agent. I've got no.
I don't know, man. Their defense is very good, and they've been putting up. I think they've been putting up more points in the league since Dak's been back than 18.
Oh yeah, they have, but it's going to be dependent. Can he stay healthy, and can they keep rolling? When's the last time? TJ, when's the last time he finished a year? When's the last time he finished a full year?
Isn't that for every team in the league? If you lose your starting quarterback, you're pretty much in a to-do situation.
The only team that I know that was able to circumvent that was the Philadelphia Eagles. But he replaced Carson Wentz.
That was like one magical year.
Hey, the Philly special, baby.
That happens now. You're going to be like, oh, here we go.
I know. I agree. I agree. So I think you're right. I think we match up. I think we could shut down their offense. That puts us to the defensive side of the ball. with our offense against their defense. Here's the question: Can Kenny continue to evolve? Can he continue to be really good and not? I
Mhm.
mean, he hasn't turned the ball over in 3 games, which is great. Can our guys continue to evolve? And I think if we can get the running game up to 150 yards, anything over 100 yards, 120, 130 yards, you could tell, then all of it doesn't land on Kenny's shoulders.
Yeah, if they get over 120 yards, they're going to win the game very easily. And it kind of helps. He's playing in a dome. I so
The baby hands is playing in a dome.
maybe so that tells me I'm quite happy about that too. I mean, they may have to actually build a dome over Heinz Field or whatever it's called, Acrisure.
Something temporary. I'm sure so they could figure that out down on the north side. We could get some recycled bottles or something and put us a dome on there. Some recycled maybe Turner's tea containers. Stick it right over that thing.
Get Gus and Pete over there and have them just build a nice little bubble over the stadium.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Sure,
No,
they can knock that. Sure, they can knock that out on a weekend over there.
That's right. Easy peasy.
There's nobody on their defense that scares me.
The
Got the
line
running
hasn't looked
game.
that bad. Now Moore's been struggling a little bit, but the line hasn't looked bad at all. I actually saw, dare I say this, on Monday night, I saw gaping holes. I haven't seen gaping holes in a long time.
I agree with you. The line has been looking pretty good. I was ready to shoot Dan Moore about 3 seconds into that game, but he kind of settled in after that.
He
He
did.
wasn't bad.
No.
Dotson always gets me worried, man. Dotton's he's like a Jekyll and Hyde. He's great one game, then he's brutal for a game. So I don't know who you're gonna get with him.
Yeah, and also the Indianapolis defense isn't like the worst on the planet. So they did it
I
against
agree.
a solid defense.
I agree. The Indies defense was actually half decent. So
I mean, because they shut down stinking the Eagles for the most part the week before. I mean, they had them pretty
yeah.
handy. They were going toe to toe with them. So let's talk about score predictions. What do you think? What's the score of this game, Tim? Do the Steelers keep rolling? What's going on?
I think they're actually going to put up 28 points this week for some god awful
Holy
reason.
crap!
I think some of those field goals that they kick, they're actually going to have touchdowns this week. So I'm going to say a 28 13 game.
It's a good call. I'm going to say 27-10. 27-10. So give me your defensive player of the game. Who's going to be the defensive player of the game? Is it 41, Tim? Is it 41?
No, it's not 41, TJ. It's
You know who's been
100%
playing
not
great
40.
ball? Is
34.
your other guy.
34 hasn't playing. 34 hasn't playing great ball. I'm going to say my defensive player of the game is going to be. I think Cam Hayward is going to be a game wrecker this game, so I'm going to say Cam.
Good. You ready for this? I'm going to go out on a limb here. You ready for this? I think the defensive player of the game is going to be Devin Bush.
It sucks because he hasn't been playing bad, but his bar now is so low that you're like, okay, he's not playing bad because he's able to he's like filling a hole. He's not making tackles, he's just filling a hole.
Yeah.
He's moving laterally. You're kind of like, but no, there's no way in God's creation Devin Bush is going to be a player of the game. There's no way.
I watched him on a few plays actually shed some blocks, which I've not seen him do consistently in a long time. So I think he is, especially if you have like a Miles Jack or somebody like that out, I think he fills the hole. And I'm going to, dare I say this, he'll be in the top 3 with tackles for this week for the Steelers.
He should be every freaking week.
I
He's
get
a middle
it.
linebacker.
I get it. So who's your offensive player of the game?
My offensive player of the game is going to be it's going to be Kenny Pickett. I think he's going to have a big game. I think he's going to have a bigger game than he did last game. I think he's going to have a 2-3 touchdown game.
You know what? I think he could. Boy, if he gets 2 or 3 touchdowns, the Yinzers will go nuts, right?
No, you're always going to have the Yinzers that went to Penn State and went to West Virginia that's going to hate him no matter what.
I mean, I get that, but it's I don't know. So here's my player of the game. Ready for this? Warren. I think Warren runs for a buck 30.
I hope so. He just gets me those hamstrings get me so nervous that you can.
Well, it was concussion for him.
No, it wasn't. It was hamstring, dude.
He came out of concussion protocol. So they cleared him from concussion protocol.
I thought it was his hammy.
No, it's his head. So I think he's ready to go, baby. He's low to the ground.
I got a feeling you're going to see him in the same role that you've seen him with, and you're going to see Benny Snell football on first down and second down.
He's
hurt.
You're
going to be like, this dude is running in quicksand.
It would not surprise me if he's out for the game, and your two guys that you're going to ride with is going to be Warren and McFarland. I got to say this: I saw more out of McFarland this week than I've ever seen out of him too. He actually looked like he could do something. Maybe he wasn't great, but he wasn't awful.
It's amazing when you're now on the practice squad and you got to fight for every inch you go. Hey, get the ball and run. Don't do scat out.
I think Warren can go for over 100 yards, and this might be. I just like his low center of gravity and the way he hits holes. I can tell you this: if he was available for last week in the game in Indy, I think the Steelers could have over 200 yards rushing. Because look, Benny Snell looked like Walter Payton at times, and he's bad. And how about this? We didn't even talk about this. Like the play for on that touchdown, that handoff. Apparently, our guy Kenny Pickett called that play. That was not from Matt Canada.
I mean, surprise, surprise.
But it's showing me, at least I'm having more faith in Kenny's understanding of, hey, what we could do. Because I didn't expect, did you expect them to run off tackle like that with your guy, touchdown, your man, Mr. Running Underwater, Snell. Did you think that they would ever do that?
The one thing that I always get mind boggled with them down in the red zone is, like, you got Pickens. Like, why don't you throw one time a fade? Why do you throw it to Deontay? Why don't you throw it to Pickens?
Yeah,
the guy that's 6'3" with the catch radius of an avatar. Why don't you throw it to that dude?
I agree.
No, I wasn't expecting a run on third down. I was expecting disaster as something to happen, lose 5 yards.
And how about the secret weapon, the other Watt brother eking into the offense?
I mean, he has made $4 million on 2 carries for 6 yards in 2 years.
Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good work stuff right there.
And you better get used to it, because I think he's coming back next year, and I think the elder Watt's going to be a Steeler next year too.
Do you really?
I do, because the Arizona ain't going to pay him $10 million. He's going to get cut. Mike Tomlin's going to say, hey, we'll give you $3 million. Go line yourself up in a rotation with the rest of these old guys, and we'll see what happens.
That'd be great.
I guess. I'm sick of it. I don't want all the Watts. I don't want all the Watts here in Pittsburgh.
Tim, you are degrading into a cranky Yinzer. Yeah. Dare I say a jagoff? All right. That's all we got for today for the Yinzer Bros podcast. I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim. We're the Yinzer Bros. Again, you can catch us on all great places where you get your podcast. You can follow us on YouTube. Please like our channel, subscribe, so we can continue to push forward this international podcast. And we'll try to, if we lose, we'll try to do a podcast. We'll try to suck it up and do a podcast. But we're not going to lose, are we, Tim? We're not going to lose.
We'll see. Cash
the check.
Yeah, you're right. Cash the check.
I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim. We're the Yinzer Bros. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
Still number one out here, all right?
See ya.